Hello, Greg. I'm all right. How are you? Same thing I do every night, Edward. Try and build controllers. Pleased to meet you. I'm Orson Welles. Yeah, I remember who you are, Greg. It's been a while. How you been feeling? Oh, I'm sure Bud will be down in a minute. I gave him his evening food. Yeah, shoelace. And I was talking to a guy the other day about the countertops. He seems to think it wouldn't be that expensive. It's like K1 granite or something. He's always at the local bar. Some of the other dudes there was like, oh yeah, you should talk to, what's that guy's name? Kevin, I think his name is. Oh shoot, sorry to hear that, Greg. Greg and I know each other IRL. He helped with my kitchen. Very nice guy. Yeah, he told me like $2,000 for my kitchen. I thought that sounded awfully low. But you think maybe like they get stuff off the back of the truck, so to speak, or garbage, I guess it might be considered. Might do that. Maybe do it next year if I get some pinball royalties. Oh, Bud! Yeah, I don't know where it was coming from, but it did seem almost too good to be true. I always figured it'd be more like 5,000 to 6,000. I don't know if it looks good. It's fine by me. So today we are building a left-handed controller for somebody named Brooke. I don't know why the orders for these have been picking up lately. Had a very slow 2024, but last couple months it's been normalizing. Wasn't like 2020 where there was a ton of orders because nobody had anything to do. It was like the biggest sales ever. It sucked though because I had to like, I had to like find them like from eBay and use game stores because, you know, Amazon was like, oh, we're only going to sell essentials. But that's not a litter box. Oh, there he goes. Design the raspberry. No, that wasn't me. I'm not talented enough to do that. It's cool to see how far the Raspberry Pi has come, though. How much is it for a controller? Well, for these, it's... well, there's a lot of manual labor. It's $350, including the cost of the controller. I've been trying to keep the price from inflating, so that's why I've been adding PCBs and stuff. I should do some more redesigns. Maybe if I can make it a little simpler to make, because I don't know if I can lower the price, because obviously I have to deal with inflation too, but I'd like to keep it from going up. Maybe I can use like grade Z animal meat, mostly circus animals, like Bart Simpson's school. Yeah, usually Bud sleeps in that box when I'm in this room, although I usually only am in here like on Monday nights now. Still doing pinball most of the time. The new machine will be announced very soon. Yeah, it's down there. Was it spooky last Friday? Yeah, and so we were doing a bunch of tests. So I think they're doing the promo video reveal stream next week. Yeah, so yeah, I gotta get that shippable by a couple months here. It seems like it's in a pretty good place though. I'm not too worried about it. We've been testing a lot more. Yeah, really you're paying me to do all the fine soldering that's required. That's really where the money is. Well, time, which is money. Bud Box. Yes, it's a subscription Bud service. Your Bud Box arrives every month and it contains Bud. Cancel anytime. CA glue? That's an arm and a leg. Yeah, that's kind of ironic, but yeah. Well, the price has been the same for quite a long time. It's like these switches I'm soldering manually. Probably would be better if I could just get these pre-made. That would cost more money, but it would save me time. I could save a lot of time if there was a way to quickly wire all the little wires inside to the I/O expander, but I don't know, I'd probably have to make some sort of custom flexible circuit for that. Like some sort of circuit flexible circuit you'd lay over the existing circuit board and then solder certain points. But I don't know if that would even be that much faster. You'd still require a lot of precision. Oh. game console repair. I don't know. I spend most of my time coding pinball full time, so even stuff like this, I'm doing on a Monday evening because it's like a side gig or a side hustle. I hate that term. Side hustle. Mm-hmm. What is it? Why don't you sit in your box? Deeproot died. Oh yeah, they've sold 1 million units of Magic Girl. No, the fragments of that company are still floating around. Like, somebody did that Alice in Wonderland game, which I think sold out all the pre-orders like instantly. So that's good, I guess. I played it at Expo. I thought it was pretty cool. A Bud-themed pinball. Oh, you love his little meows? Yeah. Yeah, he likes to talk a lot. Especially in the mornings, like, wake up, human! Mew, mew, mew! Bud, are you an orange loaf? Orange loaf. My wig. Yeah. Oh, hey, David, how's it going? Yeah, Randy, I've been, like, every Monday night. So recently I've been getting a pretty steady orders on these controllers, which I hadn't been for, like all summer, but recently there's been more, so I kind of do them on Monday nights. I was doing them like on Mondays, but now I'm trying to program full time. So these I do on Monday nights. But are you a beige loaf? Yeah, that camera's not so good. I think I originally had that camera for Octopi. So it's not like I bought an especially good camera. And now it's Bud Cam. I think Bud, in theory, should be losing weight since he has his new food. I guess we'll see next year when they weigh him at the vet. Because last year I was like, oh, well, vet, you don't have to work from home with this thing whining all the time, so I don't want to starve him. And now it's like, oh man, this food is not cheap. So I'm like, okay, Bud, you're going to get exactly 265 calories a day as the vet recommended, which is 1.5 cans. Well, I don't know if it's a vet that's pricey. It's just I have to order the food from Chewy with a prescription. It's a urinary food. And then I found out that the food actually, I think it's actually made salty, so it encourages them to drink more as well. So it's like the free pretzels at the bar. Or the popcorn machine. Lordy Lord, I'm Lord, 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 Lord. Hey Krillin, I'm okay. Just making some controllers. Getting a pinball project ready to be shown. I think you'll all get a kick out of the theme. Should be pretty fun. It's definitely a theme that I enjoy. That's always good. Urinary tract Kittle Tractor Supply? The Chiefs game? Oh, yeah. Well, it's because I'm upset about the Packers losing. That's obviously my motivation. Packers have been doing okay this year. What can it be, new or older? Your all-time fave pin out there? Oh, I don't know. I don't even really like playing pinball anymore. I just, when I do it for work, it's like, I just don't want to do it, you know? It's like if you talk to William Shatner, he doesn't want to talk about Star Trek, he wants to talk about horses. Spotted Cow pinball machine. Oh, Spooky did a Domino's pinball machine. Got a lot of free pizzas out of that. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. David, are you going to make it back for a Midwest show one of these years? It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, you met William Shatner? Was he decent? I heard he's kind of a drunk. Maybe that's why he lives so long. Yeah, David, doesn't that Real ID like actually finally start this spring? So I don't want to be anywhere near an airport when that happens, although I think I'm going to the Texas show. And I was an idiot. I forgot. Well, I knew about it because I've seen the signs millions of times at the airports. But then when I go to get my driver's license renewed, I forget my birth certificate. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Although I know the legal jurisdiction for it, but I don't necessarily think it's constitutional to require a federal ID to travel between states. But the federal government has dominion over the air. So states' rights end 1 inch off the ground. Oh, it sounds like a Ron Paul statement. Well, everyone has to have the new ID. Basically, you need to get a state driver's license that has enhanced security or whatever. Basically, you have to bring your birth certificate when you renew your license. And so that adds like a federal layer to your state ID. Alternatively, what I'll have to do, since I forgot to do it, is I'll actually have to take my passport to the airport next time I go. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people in line whenever that first happens. So hopefully it's not the next time I need to be at an airport. Because that was actually left over from the Patriot Act. It like was put into law eons ago, but they kept pushing it back because they knew it was going to be a cluster. But apparently they are not pushing it. Because yeah, it was originally supposed to happen like in 2020, but then I guess COVID was a good time. Well, actually, COVID probably would have been a good time to do it because there was less people traveling, but whatever. Hindsight being 2020, that probably would have made sense. He just glowered at me. Yeah. He's probably like, I hope you don't talk to me. I don't want to talk. No. I won't kill him. He was probably on his way back to Canada, too. I'd like to explain, but I can't. So let's just stick to topics that won't bother us. I know. We'll both read a book. Then we'll talk about it while we eat. I still listen to his album he did with Ben Folds. It's really good. You listen to the album and he's like, I'm not going to live much longer. I ain't got much time left. And that was like 20 years ago. Great. I probably just jinxed it. How did you do a spoken word version of I'm the Real Slim Shady? Shatner found the way. Well, you probably saw your Futurama shirt and be like, oh, it's one of those geeks. They're going to try to talk to me. Yeah, I think he like went up in like a Virgin Galactic, or no, not Virgin Galactic. I think it was like Bezos' rocket, because you know all those guys had to have rockets. So he became a rocket man. Just my job, 5 days a week. Bud, are you being a good cat? Good cat. Has Ben heard Has Been? Oh, yeah, that's a great song. You talking to me? Are you talking to me? You calling me Has Been? Yeah, that's a great album. I can't get behind a fat ass. You want to turn around and do one more, Bill? No, he's got time for one more. Rocket Man. You order your YouTuber from Wish. Am I the Wish.com Adam Savage, or is Adam Savage the Wish.com Ben Heck? There's a question for you. Kitty weed? I think I have some, I don't know. I'll put it like inside of his toys. Oh! Rocket Man! Yeah. I've noticed some of the older customers, they like it when the analog stick is on the opposite side that they hold. Like, one guy sent a controller back just now. He's like, oh, I wanted you to put it on the opposite side. He probably put that in a note and I just forgot to read it because, as you probably noticed, I build these things on autopilot. It's like mowing the lawn. I can just think about other things while I do it. Harrison Ford, Liam Neeson in one movie, and Kevin Spacey all filmed in My Harbor. I don't know. Baltimore? Harrison Ford went to college in Wisconsin. He's like, I'm late for your class. All great filmmakers come from Wisconsin. Orson Welles, Burt I. Gordon, myself, Red Letter Media. Well, I guess that's all of them. Oh, crap! Hey, they filmed, oh, what movie was it? Oh, yeah, A Simple Plan. That was filmed way up north. That was, what was it? Billy Bob Thornton, Bill Paxton. It was a Sam Raimi film. That's pretty good. It's kind of like an old country for No Country for Old Men, where I think they find like a crashed drug plane, because you know there's all sorts of those up in northern Wisconsin. It's like, I don't know if we should take this money. And Billy Bob Thornton's like, let's take the money. Hey, they were both in Tombstone too. Oh yeah. Yeah, Wisconsin. What's the difference between Marmite and jam? About 20,000 milliliters of salt. Okay, so Rocket Man. Hey, Cray Computers are from Wisconsin too. I think they still have their main office in Chippewa Falls. I think they build them in Minnesota though. They used to build them in Chippewa Falls. Yeah, Red Letter Media is cool. Although sometimes they seem to be cursed. Like, they've had a couple people on there, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, I wonder if it's kind of like the Madden curse. Like, if you're, who's that guy? Oh, what's his name? He's the son of some famous director. He was on there a couple times, and he was like, I don't know. I haven't watched him as much lately. I don't know. I don't know. I used to watch him religiously. I guess I just don't care about movies much anymore. Oh, I guess neither do they. A case of Leinenkugels with every Cray computer? Is that true? Chester Electronics. Oh, never heard of it. Poundland is like Dollar Tree. Yeah, that's like the UK Dollar Tree, right? Wouldn't that be like the $1.25 store or the $1.50 store before Brexit? Too soon? Doing better than the euro, though. RLM pissed off Shatner. Well, that doesn't sound too hard. I wonder if those guys will ever do like a re-retrospective of the Star Wars prequels, because the Star Wars prequels have actually kind of aged really well. Because it's a story. It's the story of history. It's a history story. It's like history. It rhymes. Poundland feed. Oh yeah, Ashens is great. Yeah, Dogglepult. I think my conspiracy theory is that's what's holding up the Switch too. Is the yen. It's probably why they made that alarm clock. Kind of like when they made the NES Classic. The NES Classic was just because they had to make something while they're waiting for the Switch because the Wii U was a turd. Well, you're like a turd that won't flush. Oh, I'm going to get some more springs soon. Good thing they still exist. Oh, what's wrong with your face? Well, the problem with my face is that I have AIDS. Wow, Rich, you hung on to that AIDS longer than Magic Johnson. That's still the best joke I've ever heard on YouTube. That's my used colostomy bag. Subscription boxes? Yeah, that sounds kind of boring. I mean, subscription boxes are just unsold promotional garbage that's sent out. It's basically like pay us to take our garbage. Oh man, I'm really low on springs. Like criminally low. Oh yeah, crap, I'm almost out. I have to order some more. We'll take apart a lot of pens. Yeah, David, I think that was the problem with that. So, going by Nintendo's history, they'll probably do something really stupid with the Switch too as well, because they always do something really stupid every other console generation. It's kind of like Star Trek sequels. So I guess they'll make a Switch, and then Spock's brother will be trying to find God. A green sofa? Rocket Man. There we go. That one's pre-drilled, so I need the 9/16. Oh yeah, so it's just going to be two switches duct taped together. I mean, it's no secret I don't like Nintendo. I mean, for one thing, they're like one of the most litigious anti-consumer gaming... Well, no, they're not one of the... They are the most litigious anti-consumer gaming company. Like, they lobbied Congress to make rental games illegal, for crying out loud. Like, the more fuzzy you think a company is, the more evil they are. Kind of like Disney and Apple. And Nintendo. I was looking at that Castlevania collection they have for the Switch, but I'm like, I don't need this. I think I have most of those games for my DS anyway. Oh yeah, I did. I put my Order of Ecclesia cartridge on eBay because I'm like, well, Operation sell all the valuable video games before that market crashes. But then the buyer didn't pay, so I guess I need to put it back up. Because I did have a lot of games that I bought back in the day. They're like, oh, this is valuable now. Like Strider 2, Mighty Final Fight. What's that one with the rabbit? Bucky O'Hare. Basically, any Nintendo game that's worth over like $60. Bye-bye. Cash for gold. Yeah, convert it to gold. I actually bought some gold earlier this year. I feel like a friggin' genius. Accidental genius. Oh, I got a metal sliver in my finger. I can't even see it. But I can feel it. Hey, I think Star Trek V is okay. I deliberately did not cut my thumbnails a few days ago because I knew I'd be doing this, but I will cut them after this because they're too long. But right now they're useful for stripping wires. So I think Star Trek V, of the original movies, I think it understood the Spock, Coy, Kirk mechanic the best. Like they were like the central characters in that movie, and like they had, you know, it was like faith versus science versus logic versus Cybok, and I think it's interesting stuff. Yeah, what does God need with a starship? Do you doubt me? I doubt any deity who would inflict pain on people. Okay, this is a lefty. Fume extractor. Gotta die something. Well, you know, RS Matrix, I think like the fact that it was more like an episode actually kind of worked in its favor. And that's something like Red Letter Media would probably say about the first. I think they have said that about the first movie as well. Because like, especially like if you look at like Next Gen, like in the Next Gen movies, like Picard does not act like Picard in any of those movies. It's like a different character. Like they always try to make like Star Trek into like some, well nowadays like some sort of Star Wars wannabe, and that's not what Star Trek was. Like Star Trek was the real exploration was of the human spirit. She liked 5 the best, huh? Hey, it's better than Into Darkness. Okay, actually, Star Trek V has the best scene in all of Star Trek. And I probably don't even need to say which scene it is. It's like, wow, this is actually like a scene of acting. Because if you remember, like, back when they made that, like, people still were thinking about Jim Jones and Heaven's Gate. I guess that would have been before Waco, but, you know, the idea of, like, cults was kind of mainstream. So there's a lot of that in it. You saw that, like, in... No, Conan the Barbarian was the same way. Like, James Earl Jones basically played Jim Jones. Wait. James Earl Jones. Jim Jones. Oh my gosh! It writes itself. If you do not drink the Kool-Aid, literally, then perhaps she will. No! Yeah, that's like in the lexicon now. A lot of people probably don't even know where that came from, drinking the Kool-Aid. The origin is lost, like tears in rain. Your pain runs deep. My pain? Share it with me! Crappy special effects. Cybeck never really believed in the Grail. He thought he'd found a prize. Yeah, and then like at the end, they're kind of like, they're like on board with what Cybox doing. They're like, okay, yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, because remember Kirk looks down at his helm or his false helm, and it says to boldly go where no man has gone before. And then he's like, oh yeah, I guess we should do this. Dun 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 dun. What flavor Kool-Aid will I make my cult followers drink? Beer flavored Kool-Aid. This Kool-Aid is made of Bud! Bud, do you want me to turn you into Kool-Aid? No, I meant Bud. I will grind up Bud and make him into Kool-Aid. Poor Bud. Please don't make me into Kool-Aid. I was having a dream, human. I was dreaming about a mouse. Oh yeah, Blue Moon is definitely very orangey. I think Spotted Cow kind of tastes orangey too. It's actually why I don't drink it a whole lot. Anymore, I think that it's kind of overly citrusy. A Mauser? No, I don't. He's never even seen a mouse. I don't know. Thankfully, there's no mice here for him to find. I did see him catch a fly and eat it once, though. Does that count? No, Bud's not a Mauser. He prefers Digikey. Ching. Bud. Bud, are you the best cat ever? I still gotta watch Wolverine versus Deadpool. I keep hearing it's good. I'm here all week, try the veal. Yeah, and tip your waitresses. Head of mousekeeping, yeah. I was thinking about putting a bird bath out back so he could like sit on the porch and look at it. Maybe I'll do that in the spring. And yes, I'm sure I will buy it at Menards. Save big money at Menards. Spend all your money at Menards. Yeah, although I think all the cameos in Wolverine has been spoiled, so I won't be surprised. But I think it is kind of funny. Like the biggest hit Disney Marvel movie in years is all Fox characters. I think that's kind of ironic. It's like, yeah, so that movie made like $1.5 billion, so they only got like $75 billion left to go to pay for Fox. They just need to make like 30 more Avatar movies. You think about that sometimes. It's like Rupert Murdoch. He's like the monorail guy in The Simpsons. He's like, haha, I got your money, Disney, and I'm gonna run away. Have fun with it. like Microsoft buying Activision, the same kind of thing. It's like, oh man, that's a lot of. Well, Microsoft has infinite money basically, but still, geez, that's a lot. Yeah, because isn't like Call of Duty on Game Pass now? I still just play Warzone. It's fine. I haven't played. I think the last new Call of Duty I played was probably Modern Warfare 2 or whatever it was called, the second one, or the I can't remember. It's been a while. Yeah, I saw the second Avatar movie. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it more than the first one, even though it was too long. I liked it more because it had less mystical crap in it. It was just more straightforward. Microsoft is buying 3 Mile Island. that wouldn't surprise me. So you can't even make up stories anymore that aren't believable. I'm still waiting for Jeff Bezos to buy the Postal Service, although I don't think he could actually do that legally. I'm pretty sure the United States government is required to have a postal service. Okay, do I got this marked red? Yep, okay. Really? Well, hopefully it doesn't explode again. Menards is like a it's like a Home Depot that's just in the Midwest. Although I'd say it's probably got like lower quality stuff, but the prices are good, and the store is really well lit, unlike Home Depot. And the lumber's all outside, not in the store. So there's like, if you buy lumber, you drive your car out into the back lot, and then they scan your ticket and they let you in, and then you go in and you put the lumber or the bricks or whatever in your car, and then you drive out and they scan it again. Which, you know, it kind of makes sense, because like then you're not like picking it up, putting it in your car, like, you know, you just basically pull it off the rack and put it right in your car. So I guess that's fewer steps. Has a better lumber selection? Well, yeah, I guess they probably have more room for it since it's outside. I mean, I get stuff from Home Depot every so often. Like, I think I got like my sink there, but I don't know. In general, well, Menards is like really close to my house, so I just go there. That's where I bought my house. That's where I get. What do I get at Menards? I get Halloween candy there, cat litter, litter deodorizer, distilled water, glacier water for Bud. Although if his food has salt in it, it probably doesn't really matter if he's drinking softener water. Yeah. Well, they have pretty good prices on like paper towels and toilet paper at Menards, so I usually get that there too. And sometimes I'll buy like potato chips there. They also have, what's that cheap soda? Fanta, right? Is that what it is? Fanta? Santa? I didn't realize that the lumber selection was that much better at Menards. They probably just have more room for it, if I had to guess. Oh, here's the tricky part. This is the part that you're really paying for. Happy little clouds. Shasta, yeah, that's it. The Shasta price inflated too, so now Shasta now costs what Pepsi used to cost. Come on. Is Greg still here? Do you guys still do that cabin stuff in the Dells? If you're still here? I've been thinking about buying some land up north. Make my bug out shelter. Fallout shelter. Whoa, children, it's just a kiss away. Hey everybody, PPH1 bus. Man, I hate New York. We know. New York, I just can't get over it. I better check my messages and see if New York called me. You have 10 new messages from New York. New York! Oh, you're putting a lien on my business. Oh, great. Sovereign citizen. Yeah. I don't know. I can see a lot more sovereign citizens popping up with the way car insurance is going. It's like, oh, do you see driving a car in the Bill of Rights? Oh, no. Well, I saw like, in the last week, I saw like 2 early 90s Ford F-150s like in really good condition. I'm like, wow, I would love to have one of those. I would have to go to Texas, though, to find one. Any truck that's actually been in Wisconsin for 34 years just be a pile of rust by now. They have collector plates, of course. It's older than 25 years. Oh, damn it. Yeah, Arrow, also all of the EVs that get totaled if there's a single scratch on the battery pack because the mechanics don't want to work on the giant bomb. Oh, also, yeah, like, you can no longer just fix a door. Like, everything is a module, so you just had to replace entire sections of the vehicle. And they lock it down with, like, code. So it's like, oh, well, your door is not going to work without this authorized chip. Like, people like Louis Rossmann, well, obviously, I'm sure he knows, but, like, farmers were the tip of the spear with that nonsense, and he just came to the rest of us. But yeah, an old F-150 or a Ranger would be cool. That's what I should do. I should get one of those, get rid of my Escape, just drive it around. Then I get some land, and then I could drive my truck up every weekend and build stuff. Get like a Tesla wall. Yeah. try to do as much of it with cash as I could, and that way I can sell my house and then just buy a bunch of gold or something. Wood gas. But 94 Silverado? Wow, that's pretty old. Well, yeah, they put nodes and everything, so everything needs a licensed chip. Again, that was something the farmers were dealing with long before we were. So the thing is, people need to remember, you have absolutely no rights whatsoever when it comes to cars. They could do whatever they want, and, you know, you really don't have a recourse. Because it's a driving privilege, not a right. So 100 years from now, you'll be like, well, I want to go buy a gun, but unfortunately I don't have a car to drive to the store. But guns are still legal, but I don't have a car. Now, Cash for Clunkers was never not sinister. I mean, it was basically book burning with cars. They destroyed perfectly good cars. And the people that were destroying the cars could easily afford them. Like, they could have given those cars to, like, low-income people. Because if you're low income, like, a car that guzzles gas is still better than a car that's broken and needs tons of repairs. It's a huge, huge waste. The thing is, like, when they did that, you didn't even have to get that much of an increase in fuel efficiency. So it's like, oh, I got rid of my 18 mile per gallon SUV and I replaced it with a 22 mile per gallon, slightly better SUV. Wow, you saved the planet. Good going. I mean, that's been a while back, but, you know, in places where cars last long, unlike Wisconsin, like, you know, I'm sure there are still regions of the country where used car inflation is still being trickled down affected by that. Okay, so that was Y. This is X. This is A. So I need to wire up A next. Here. Give me shelter. Oh, I had to build a welding station, because you absolutely have to have a welding station if you're a bug-out survivor, man. As long as I can power it with a Tesla wall. The irony is, a lot of the land has electricity. So, yes, it's too bad they don't have a Tesla septic tank. Starlink septic tank. Now that would be useful. That's big bucks. Yeah, Steve, I think young people, they'll never know how cheap used cars used to be. Like, it wasn't that long ago you could get something for like $1,000 and it would last you a while. Man, I think a couple station wagons ago, like, shoot, that wasn't even that long ago. That was probably like, what, 2000? When did I get that one? 2007? Yeah, so it was before my Escape, before my Focus. It was a Ford Escort I had before that. I think I paid like $1,500 for it, or $1,700. And then I sold it. I actually listed it for... After I got a new car, like 4 years later, I listed it for sale the same price that I bought it for, and the people, you know, they were like, can you give us a deal? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that was just the see what I can get away with price. So I think I sold it for like $1,000 or $1,200, but even then, like, you know, a lot of the value was still there. Let's see. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yes. Okay. Rocket Man. Yeah, if I could get like an old Ford for like $5,000, I mean, you. Yeah. Kind of wonder if like people went around in the woods like pulling old trucks out of the woods and like getting them to run because they're like gold. I think the days of like finding a Ranger in the back field of some farmer's field is long gone. That used to, not that long ago, that used to totally be a thing you could do. Yeah, $100. How many electric cars does 8-Bit Murray? I think he has 2 of them, doesn't he? Now he has an arcade. Yeah, I think there was he went to one of the shows in the Midwest and he was complaining about how difficult it was to drive that far. Because I don't think he has a Tesla. He's got like a Nissan Leaf or something like that. It's like the Tesla supercharger network. Maybe it's expanded, but it used to be kind of in Northern America. It was kind of like a northern Route 66. So you would go like Chicago, Minneapolis, South Dakota. It like went along the north. I'm sure it's expanded by now, but yeah, because in the old days, Route 66 would have gone through Texas, I think, or at least Nebraska. $94 silver, $700. Wow. A barn find. NASA has a whole fleet of vehicles from the 60s just in case. Yeah, before they had computers, right? In case like an EMP goes off, or, well, if you're NASA, you're going to be worried about a solar flare, not an EMP. And that's what people don't think about. Like, if the sun wanted to, they could take us all out. That would be bad. If the sun wanted to. Sun, like, wakes up in a bad mood. It's like, Christ. I'm going to destroy all the electronics on Earth. Screw it. It's like the sun's hungover or something. It's a hydrogen hangover. Wisconsin surplus auctions. Oh, that's cool. I was talking to a guy at the gas station, I don't know, a year ago or something, and he had it was like a late, it was one of the later Rangers before they discontinued them the first time, and he said that AT&T had a fleet of them and they were selling them for like super cheap, and that's when he got his, and I'm like, I was super jelly. Oh, I haven't set that clock back yet. Darn it. So many analog clocks are dumb clocks. I need a service plan on the clock so it can update itself twice a year. Definitely worth $10 a month. Guess where this clock came from? If you guessed Menards, you would be right. Wow. There we go. There we go. Yeah. And they got my My new favorite daily driver Casio. This was my birthday present to myself. It was a low budget birthday present. Although sometimes I wear, if I like, I have the AE 1200 because it's got a countdown timer, so I'll use that if I'm like testing pinball. Like, okay, I'm gonna stack all these multi-balls and I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes. Go! Rocket Man! Saving all the wires, yeah. Saving all the wires in my bug out cavity, yeah. I can build a Cray computer with a box of scraps. Oh, nice, Randy. Yeah, I had to pay a little. Actually, I think I had to pay like $5 extra for this green. But I just wanted to have like. I would love to have a car this color. I think that'd be a great color for a car. The black was cheaper, but I wanted. Yeah. If I started collecting some Casios, I finally understood why women like shoes. I'm like, oh, I get it now. They're cheap and fun to collect. There we go. E-ink for watches and clocks. Yeah, it's kind of weird that it never took off. Like, yeah, because do people really, I mean, how often do you see someone actually using their Apple Watch? I mean, you see tons of people wearing them, but there was a problem. I think it was on Crowdsource or somebody. They took a Casio, the super generic one, the F91W, and they made a new PCB for it. And you use the same screen, but it's got a new PCB, and it has a Atmel SAM D20 on it. It's got a 32-bit ARM, and so the watch can do all this fancy stuff. So basically, they replaced the brains, and apparently it still lasts a year on a battery. So that's a lot less time than a regular Casio, but still, that's not bad. A year for. Yeah, that particular microcontroller I just mentioned, most of the time it'll use a 32768 crystal as the main driving crystal. You can actually devise all of the clocks from that, including USB clock. And then they also have a built-in RTC, so it's perfect for a watch. SWAT at it to reject a call. Yeah. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, Apple Watches are, you know, for a fancy watch, they're pretty cheap. I guess is a way to put it. There's a I saw an ad for a new Kindle that has like a full color screen, so apparently it's possible. Oh, hi Kiki Cat. I think I have an old Pebble around here someplace. Yesterday seemed to last forever. The time change. It's like, oh man, time to go to sleep yet? It was kind of rainy, so I couldn't do any leaf work, so worked on my projector project instead. Do 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 do. Menards still has projectors. I think the only one they have left is one that I've already taken apart. So, not a whole lot has changed. I'll be right back. Well, in cat years, he's of age. Well, Mike, it's not really a prototype. I've built hundreds of these. Warmed by a cat belly. Yeah. You know, sometimes Bud is like really nice, like at night. Although he's like trying to wake me up earlier these days, which I don't appreciate. Although, also, I don't know. I'm having a hard time, like, well, a harder time, like trying to sleep in on the weekends. It's like I turn 49 and immediately I'm starting to wake up at 6 a.m. no matter what. It's like, oh no. But Bud will be like a good boy, like most of the night. Like he'll lay on my knees or against my knees, and even if I roll over in bed, then he'll just get up and like lay back on my knees again. But then like at 6 a.m. meow, 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 meow. It's kind of annoying. I should replace him with a Nintendo alarm clock. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend the rainbow crap. It's usually too strong of a plastic. This is just bog standard. Well, I've got quite a. I think I can't remember. I think I accidentally bought these for another project. They're like 1 foot lengths. So this is just like standard 3M .05 pitch stranded aluminum ribbon cable. But I have a bunch of these, so these are perfect length for like this part of it. Then I actually buy the thin stuff too. Oh, it went inside the box. Darn it. Of course. Stealing this aircraft with no survivors. So, tell me, Doctor, are you the best bombotologist in Gotham? Yes. Nobody knows more about bombs than I do. Oh, yeah? You killed the bombotologist. What a lovely voice. Well, of course, the Minnesota Mining and Mineral Manufacturing Company. They make everything. They're like the Wayland-Yutani of Minnesota. By 100 years from now, they'll make androids and have like a bioweapons division and everything. Hey, what happened to Sigourney Weaver's cat in the second movie? Remember, she leaves it behind in her crappy space apartment? Like, did it die? I think we need a prequel to explain what happened to the cat. Jonesy Origins. Ben, do you still produce that one-handed fighting stick controller? Well, I mean, I'm building a one-handed controller right now. It's my new Monday night thing. Ugh, this stupid metal shaving is still stuck in my finger. Frodo will bear that scar the rest of his life. So he will go live with the elves. The age of the elves is over. The sea calls us home. That's not... Ash, what was your directive? You read it? I thought it was clear. What was it? Retrieve all sandpaper. All other priorities rescinded. God damn! It's the freaking 3M company. They own everything. Ripley, this sandpaper is an important species. We can't just arbitrarily decide to destroy it. Wrong! I got like 4 episodes into it, Randy, and I just got really... It was so boring. I was like, I'm not going to finish this until the next time I'm stuck home with COVID, and I haven't gotten COVID since, so I guess I'll never watch it. I think I'm finally immune. I'm pretty sure I got exposed the same time LGR did, and just had like super mild symptoms like the Monday after, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm immune now. I always think it's interesting when like big companies have all these like eclectic things they make, like Yamaha. You know, they like make microchips and like backhoes and motorcycles and all sorts of weird stuff. And maybe someday androids. Proper home assistant bipedal robots? Probably a ways off. I mean, well, when they start making that stuff, it'll be used for war first. So it'll be a lot. We'll get it long after the military is using it. I don't know. I just think it would be really, really expensive. Like, I think if you could make like a robot that costs the same as a car, but actually not anymore. That doesn't. You know, if you could sell a robot for like $40,000, you know, people might get it. I mean, I would think the AI is probably good enough now. I don't know, I guess it could charge itself like a Roomba. See, what I'd be worried about, my gray goose scenario would be if you automate too much and you run out of consumers because you've replaced them all, then you'd be like, well, what if we sold things to the robots? And then you're like, well, we'd have to give the robots desire in order for them to be flawed like humans, and be like, oh, I need to buy this. And so then you give the robots free will and have them thinking, and then Skynet happens. Or would it? I don't know. I like the story from the Animatrix, if anyone remembers that, where they gave the robots like their own country, and then but the humans couldn't compete with the robots, so they put all these horrible tariffs on the robots. And then, of course, that leads to war. And then there's like a 200-year war. And then the Matrix. And now the Cheetah Men. Well, I think the problem with that is, I mean, if you would want the robots to be as intelligent as possible, but if the robots ever did become self-aware, they would realize they were slaves, and, you know, like all throughout history, the slaves would be like, screw this, and, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like this unending moral dilemma, you know, and like, oh, well, they're robots, you know, they don't have rights, but people used to think that about slaves, too, so, yeah. I mean, obviously robots aren't humans, but I don't know. I guess it depends on how far AI goes. I'm sure there's some point where they'd be like, you know, they'd have to like limit it, but then someone would be like, well, you know what? If we didn't limit it, we could get X more performance out of hardware Y, and then Skynet happens. What is my purpose? You fetch beer. I fetch beer. See, I always thought, we had a long conversation one time on a work road trip about this, is if you have like the dilemma, kind of like a trolley car problem of let's say you're an autonomous Tesla that sort of works, and you're driving down the road and you hit a patch of ice, and you can crash into a toddler or an old woman. Which one do you crash into? And like at some point, like you might actually, same thing, like if I'm driving down the road and if I hit a patch of ice, I'm like, okay, I'm going to crash into the guardrail instead of another car because the guardrail doesn't cost very much money. I think if you ever got to the point where you had to program a machine to make choices like that, it would probably or could develop morality, where you say, okay, X is worth more than Y, or Y is worth more than X, and I don't know. I guess maybe it would actually form a conscience because of that, or like maybe not a conscience, but like the sum of all its decisions would give it a moral code, so to speak. Well, like in iRobot, kind of underrated movie. The robots decide that humans must be saved from themselves. And so even if the robots enslave the humans, they're not violating the 3 laws of robotics because they're protecting the humans from themselves. And so in the robot's point of view, that's justified. And then Will Smith is like, oh, hell no. Do modern electronics that use batteries run in series or parallel? I mean, if there's... It's often like series and parallel. So you'll have a bunch of LiPos in parallel, but then you'll have a bunch of those in series. So you'll have packs, you know, so like, let's say you might have like 1, 2, 3, 4, so that would be 4.2 times 4, so that would be, what, 16.8? And then you'd have 2 of those packs in series, which would give you, 32.6. So it's usually a combination of both. I mean, like with EVs, like the Achilles heel is the battery, and the problem with the battery is the battery is filled with technology to keep it from exploding. Like Elon Musk won't say that, but I will. And there's a cooling system in the battery, so even though you don't have an internal combustion engine, you still have to have a cooling system. And like when you detach the battery, you actually have to detach the cooling system as well. So there's like actually like, you know, you have to keep it pressurized. And it's all there, yeah, because the faster you charge the batteries, the more likely they could catastrophically fail. All right. iRobot sequel? Why? And they make a sequel to anything. Oh, thanks, Randy. Well, I build one of these every Monday now, it seems. Because orders have been picking up lately, for whatever reason. Oh, and I Am Legend, he fought crappy CGI vampires. So they actually shot that whole movie with, like, people dressed as vampires. But for some reason, at the last minute, they were like, this doesn't look good enough. Let's, at the last minute, paint over the people with rushed CGI. That'll look better. That's why those monsters look so bad in that movie, even for the year it came out. Oh, yeah, Omega Man. And what was the first one? Because that movie's been made 3 times. The first one was with Vincent Price. Was that also called I Am Legend? Because in the book, the legend is Will Smith is a legend. Like, the vampires talk about him like he is like the legendary last human. Like the guy who went around, like, oh, this guy went around killing everybody. Yeah, Tom, I started some 8mm projects. I like LEDified my projector, and I'm slowly working on a scanner for it, although right now I'm just designing the scanner to do 8mm, although I guess I could probably do 16mm. It's not that much bigger. Yeah, The Last Man on Earth, that was the one with Vincent Price. Yeah. All right, everything looks good. Yeah, Will Smith movies, they really slap, don't they? Will Smith needs to like get a new girl. I mean, come on. Something's weird with that. I Am Legend 2, so I am still Legend. Didn't that movie have like a different ending originally too? Like everyone dies at the end or something? Didn't like his German Shepherd get killed in that or something? Like everyone's like, oh no, it's dead. Oh right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they wanted to get like the little zombie girl back. And then in the theatrical version, he blows himself up, right? And then she goes off into the sunset. Yeah, okay. I Am Legender. I Am Legend 2. Legend harder. With a vengeance. 9.5 millimeter standard? No. I will be Legend. Yep, and then he Legend all over the place, and the movie made $11 more billion. It's easier to type than it is to say. Live free or Legend hard. Yeah, when I first saw that slap, I thought it was like a stunt. I didn't think it was real. I was like, no way. But then it was like, it was real. I don't know. Well, I mean, he's a movie star, right? So it's not like he's Keanu Reeves, so. It's like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, he moved to Bel-Air to avoid fights, you know? But now, yeah. It's like he moves to Bel-Air and then he starts slapping people and then his uncle will be like, Will? I told you that's not how you're supposed to live your life. You are grounded, Will. You know Queen Latifah was on that show? Jim Henson's Queen Latifah babies. Yeah, the original the original 8mm was 16mm, and it was like in this dual end cartridge. And you would shoot half of it. You'd shoot one side of the frame, and then you'd flip the cartridge over, and then you shoot the other half of the frame. And then when it got developed, they would cut it in half down the middle, and then give you 2 8mm strips with sprockets on one side. And then when they did Super 8, it was well, the sprockets are slightly different on Super 8. Alright, so one more thing to wire, which is this. Makes it look easy. Okay, now it is actually 9:15. When did I start this stream? 1 hour and 44 minutes ago? Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, wait, I better shut up. I'm going to jinx myself. Yeah, it's usually around 2 to 2.5 hours for one of these. Well, actually, the left-handed ones take longer, even though they're the same price. Gladiator La Folie du. Oh yeah, they're making a Gladiator sequel for some reason. There was an original sequel to Gladiator that someone wrote, and apparently it was like crazy. It was like God of War, where like Gladiator kept getting reincarnated through like the ages, and then he ended up in Iraq or something. But they never made that. Yeah, Minox 8mm. That's right. Yeah. Gladiator 2. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call it like Gladiator Rise of Nero or something. Apparently they spent a ton of money on that movie, so who knows, maybe that'll be the next big bomb. It's Ridley Scott, right? That guy's still alive. Alexa, how old is Ridley Scott?
Ridley Scott is 86 years old.
86? Jeez. Retire or something. I'm sure you got enough money. Go make a vineyard or something. What are you smoking, Ben? I'm not smoking anything. I have not seen the movie 8mm, but I did see the movie Super 8, which was a crappy version of Stranger Things. Ugh. Maximus was resurrected to kill Jesus in the original Gladiator 2 script. I can believe that. Well, what was it? I heard like a plot rumor in, speaking of Ridley Scott, in like Prometheus, like one of the unused like plot points was that, what was it? Jesus was also created by the engineers, and the reason that they were going to send all the xenomorphs to Earth and kill everyone is because they were pissed because we killed Jesus. Apparently that was like an aborted plot line of that movie. That would have been like too crazy, I think. Well, actually, that would have been cool. But I'm sure, like, I don't know, people in like North Dakota wouldn't have liked it or something. Yeah, I still have an NSA Pringles can. Although I gotta admit, compared to like ChatGTP, it feels like it's lobotomized. It feels so primitive. Do they have a ChatGPT Pringles can? I know there's a phone app that is all like Knight Rider-esque. No, the one down here is an old school Pringles can. NSA Pringles can. There was something. It wasn't that long ago. It was what was it? Because I've had like, I think your phone, well, at least my phone spies on me way more than Alexa does. But there was something else. It was really weird. It was like, I got like a Google ad for something, and it's like, it was something I'd looked into recently, but wasn't even electronic. And I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if Google like models you, not profiles you, models you, like has an AI of you or what they think you are, and they use that for like ad predictions. Because I swear to God, sometimes I'll be like on YouTube and I'll think, I haven't seen a Kim Justice video in a while, then there'll be a Kim Justice video, and I'm like, maybe it's probably just a coincidence. But the phone absolutely 100% spies on you, because if you go way deep in the settings, there's something you can disable to stop that. Because I've had like YouTube suggestions for things I would never Google in a million years. But if I'm like at the bar talking about tube amps, and then like a day later, guess what I get in my YouTube? Yeah, AI is. It's just like cloud. They just slap. If your code has an if-then statement, they slap an AI label on front of it. Because right now, AI is just a bunch of hopium that's like keeping Wall Street going, and it's. I mean, AI is cool, but I think a lot of it's just. It's like a. I don't want to say a pump and dump, but it's like, oh look, Nvidia's doing great. That means everything's great. It's like, well, no. Yeah, I still don't have what's it called? YouTube Premium. I probably should, because I use YouTube like a radio basically when I'm working, but I don't know. I mean, cause I still make YouTube videos and I still make ad revenue on it, so I mean, I wouldn't use ad block, but I guess YouTube. Well, thing is, so if you make a YouTube video, if someone that has YouTube Premium watches your YouTube video, you get a way better CPM than just a normal person watching it. So it can actually be like a third of your ad income. Something else about YouTube, fun fact, YouTube, well, because Google knows everything about you, the YouTube CPM also varies based off the income of your viewers. So if for some reason your channel is like all doctors watching it, you'll make more money on the same number of videos as like a Fortnite streamer. It's absolutely something they do. It's not even a conspiracy. They just, yeah. Because it's not like, oh, who's going to see this Allstate ad during a football game? Who knows? Well, Google knows exactly who is watching the ads. Oh, a pet crow? Yeah. Nutbug, the first time I noticed it, it was right after like the lockdown and like the bars open. So of course I went with my buddy to the bar because we didn't give a crap, and it was pretty dead. So and then Naked and Afraid was playing on the television. So we were like talking to the bartender about it, and then like later that day or something, because I was in my hometown, I went to my mom's house, and she also watches that show endlessly. So my phone was hearing audio from the show, and then I get home the next day, and like it's a Sunday, and my phone, there's like one of those notifications. It's like, new episode of Naked and Afraid tonight, Sunday night, and I'm like, what? Like, I've never Googled this. That was one of the first times I started to notice. But I've seen other stuff too, like tube amps or. I can't remember. There's been multiple occasions where I'm like, okay, that's not a coincidence. Oh, what the heck is wrong with me? Google, where you are the product. The access control, you mean the one that I worked on a million years ago? I think I still have one someplace. Naked and Afraid, maybe when I was born. I don't know, I don't remember it very well though. I mean, I probably was afraid because apparently I almost died when I was born, so I assume I was afraid. Although I probably didn't know enough to be afraid. Yeah, it's a scam. I think a lot of, like, there's companies like Apple where like a third of their income is like subscription. It's like so many companies are relying on that. It kind of makes you wonder like what the actual economy would be like if you didn't have all these subscriptions like bleeding us dry. Like Adobe's a perfect example. Like, I've been using Adobe professionally for 28 years, I want to say, and like the Creative Cloud is like so much more expensive than like the old way, because in the old way you would buy the box. You get the big box, and it came like with like 10 pounds of manuals, and you would get like I would get like production premium, because it would have Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, AI, some other stuff, and then what you would do is every 4 to 5 years you would update it for $600. And so you might be like, oh well, you know, $1,600 plus 4 years plus $600, that sounds like a lot. It's like, yeah, but the thing is, once you use it for longer than that, it's way less in the long term, because you're looking at $600 every 4 to 5 years versus $600 every year. And if you look, Adobe's stock price hockey sticked once Creative Scam came into the picture. Because you can easily, at least back then, you could easily be like 4 versions old. And I think the limit for an update, like if as long as you weren't more than like 4 versions old, you could upgrade. So, and then then the versions weren't every year either. So it wasn't like 4 years, it was like 4 versions. So you could easily go like 5 years without updating. And you know the thing that I think will happen, and it'll be awful, it'll be like the first step to like Weyland-Yutani, is when there's some sort of subscription service on a car that is required by insurance. I could totally see that happening, and it'll be awful. I mean, but that's why I watch Louis Rossman's videos, but I don't think he's remotely black-pilled enough. He to paraphrase X-Files, no matter how paranoid you are, you're not paranoid enough. Because, I mean, you think about it, like, insurance for cars is technically a collusion between the insurance companies and the government. So, you know, I mean, there's already a thing coming where I think by 2027, new cars have to be able to detect if you're drunk when you're driving them. And so what if they're like, oh, there's this brake feature, subscription service, but if you don't have this feature, then we can't insure you. And like, well, why do my brakes need to be updated? Well, this app, it gets up to the minute information on road conditions, so it knows more about the road conditions than you do. And in order for your insurance to be valid, we need to know that you have the most recent data for your braking system. That's how they would do it. See, whoever employs Louis Rossman, you should hire me. I'm way more black-pilled. I can think way more evilly than Louis Rossman. I would make an excellent supervillain. Yeah, it looks like the buttons are good. I printed a whole ton of the... there's this guy that was asking me if I could give him one of my extra printers. And I was like, okay. But before I did, I printed a whole bunch of these because that particular printer did a really good job of printing. Because I print these in one piece with a base because they've got like a little conical point at the bottom to push the button. So that printer is like really good at printing these. So I printed like 100 of them. But they do take a little finagling, but it's better than like, because what I used to do is like this would be printed in 3 pieces. There'd be like a cross, the top, and a peg, and then have to glue it together. And it's obviously much easier to do it in one piece. Yeah, Electrobot, I was actually looking into changing my car insurance because mine has gone up a ridiculous amount. I don't know why. And I even have it with my homeowners, and it's like, this is ridiculous. I know, though, if I get like a different quote, they're just going to give me a low number, then jack that one up as well, but still. But then, yeah, it's like, oh, do you want the app? Of course they push for that, because what they're selling your data, of course. But, yeah, I don't think it actually takes that much off of it. If cars detected drunk drivers, Wisconsin roads would be empty. But yeah, when you think about it, like, the probable cause would be the computer. And, yeah, I wonder how that would hold up in court. Although, the computer would probably be more honest about it than cops who are just trying to, like, pull over teenagers for no reason. Not trying to be anti-cop, but that totally happens. I mean, I was once a teenager, I know. I'll be right back. Good. Are you a beautiful blonde bastard? Subscription toilets. Oh, I've got it. Because I thought about this. I always thought it'd be cool to make Toilet Doctor. Like if you had a toilet that could analyze your pee and poop every time you peed and poop, that would actually be really useful. But yeah, you need a subscription, obviously. You were once a teenager. Yes, many years ago. In the home of my master, Orokusaki! Yeah, Toilet Doctor. It would be like the Theranos machine, but hopefully it would actually work. Your doctor comes on the screen. This is an enlisted bathroom! Texas, sir, I can totally believe that. I mean, because you can do like garbage profiling too. Dinosaurs still roam the earth when you were a teenager? Yeah, it was like da 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 da. There's always one of these directions that's a little worse than the others. In this case, it's down. The Heckendorn period. Are you suggesting I menstruate? You bred Heckendorns? Why? I'll show you. Da 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 da. Ugh. Clint Eastwood impression? I'm surprised that guy's still alive. He's like 1,000,000 years old. Him and Shatner are both like ancient. Wow, that's quite the question, Bill. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Randy. Someone was telling me like a really good use for tampons the other day. It's like, what, like they stick them in car engines or something? It was something like that. Extreme tampons. Yeah. They'd be bacon flavored Tampa. Bacon flavored. Oh my god. Oh god. Bacon flavor. That's no. Yeah, it was something where like there's it was something where like if you just suck up fluid from a hole, but it was something like a car engine or God, what was it? And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Pantyhose makes sense. Yeah, show of hands. Sometimes I get I'll buy nail polish every so often because it's really good for like painting enamel on stuff like black or red enamel, and it's very strong. Or like if you have to like let's say you're putting up some shelves and you want the screws heads to be black or white or something, like nail polish is a great way to do it. paint Bud's nails? I don't think he would like that. Bud, you want me to paint your claws? Your deadly claws. Deadly claws. I wish Bud would like do soft swipes, but he doesn't. Every time he swipes something, his claws are out. So it's not like he's trying to scratch me, but he's trying to scratch me. You think you're cool? You think you're a good cat? Sometimes you are. Hey, your fur is almost completely grown back. Oh, yeah, that's a bit too far. I'm going to shave off all of your fur. Now I know how long it takes you to grow back fur. Like 2 months. Murder mittens, yep. Extra viewership? I don't know. Seems like it's about the same. I mean, the internet loves cats, right? I don't think he was in that last video I made at all, was he? The Super 8 video? But are you sleepy? He sleeps most of the day. Well, he whines all morning, then he sits in his bed under the pinball machine and then sleeps like, 5 hours. Oh. Well, I meant the last edited video that I made, because I think I posted one last night. How many controllers do I have left? I have 1 controller left. Bud and Ben Hackett podcast. Well, no, I want to do. My idea is Gen Explained. That's my podcast idea. It's like Gen Xers explaining things to like Gen Z. Like Rocky movies and pop rocks and stompers and Walkmen. Yeah, you can see where his fur is still growing back. Yeah, apparently Pop Rocks were originally supposed to be dehydrated soda. And like you'd mix them with water and they would turn into carbonated soda, but they ended up making Pop Rocks out of it instead. It's the same guy who invented Tang and Cool Whip. Where's the beef? Oh yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, that was for Wendy's. Did the Pop Rocks explode, or did it just kind of like crack in your mouth? They were like, I bet people would like to eat these. Oh yeah, a show of hands, I think those are actually illegal in some places. I know what you're talking about, though. It kind of looks like a metal condom, like a big metal condom. And then, yeah. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. I think I'm thinking about where, like, discs or something. Yeah, it was like this old lady, and she would go to, like, other burger places, and then she would look at the little burger, and she'd be like, where's the beef? Yeah, Stompers were cool. Like a single AA battery, and they would go forever. What about Pop Rocks mixed with Mentos and Coke? It would be a weapon of mass destruction. Oh, or lawn darts, that was a thing. That was even almost before my time. We found a Super 8 video where my parents were throwing lawn darts, and somehow we survived the onslaught. Yeah, why are Wendy's burgers square? I wonder why. Wendy's is still pretty decent. It's expensive, well, all is, but like if you go to Wendy's and get a burger, it's probably going to be pretty good. I think we just talked about this last week, didn't we? The Ben Heck podcast? Well, if anything, it would be Jen Explained. Welcome back to Jen Explained. Lawn dart football. There will be no survivors. Orange cats. Are orange cats the best? They only have one brain cell. RS Matrix, around here McDonald's is cheaper than Wendy's, like probably like a couple dollars cheaper, but it's definitely lower quality. Like Wendy's is at least good. Yeah, only a few kids died. I mean, kids die every day, right? Who cares? Long darts, explosions, car wrecks. Yeah, the Baconator's pretty good. I usually get the Son of Baconator because it's not as much. Like the Son of Baconator is enough for me, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I can believe that, David. Apparently, like places like Chili's and Applebee's are like having a resurgence because the price of fast food has gotten so high that you might as well go to Applebee's for like $14. Yes, the kids die every answer for the pinpoint. Cheddar, huh? That's nice. That's a good name for a cat. Yeah, I think about that sometimes. I think I was just talking to, I don't know, my sister or someone. I was like, you know, when we were growing up in the early 80s, America was a lot more dangerous of a place than it is today. And like, people are also worried about like, oh, I got to drive my kids to school, they'll get murdered or something. It's like, we were way more likely to get murdered back in 1983. Just like if you look at crime statistics. Oh yeah, toys with lead. Well, yeah, lead's everywhere. You can't escape it. It's the original sin. The original sin of automobiles. Yeah, if it's gonna be $10 to get some crap at McDonald's, you might as well spend $15 plus tips. Yeah, that's why I always think it's weird. Like parents talk about like driving their kids to school. It's like we were walking to school and we were in freaking kindergarten. It's like, and somehow I survived. Styrofoam fast food containers. Oh yeah, what was the one? Was it the McBLT where it was in two halves? Like it was like this double-sided styrofoam, and it kept the meat hot and the vegetables cool. And then you opened it up, and then you would put the halves together. I think it was the McBLT is what they called that. The go-to type of solder. I usually get. Oh, what's the brand? I think it's Kester's. This is Kester's too. This is the last spool of solder from Atari Corporation. I was at some show and some guy had gotten, like when Atari Corporation went out of business, he got all the solder and he was selling it for like $5 a spool, and I bought every one that he had. And this is the last one. So this one was made the year I graduated high school, speaking of being a teenager. McDLT, yeah, that sounds right. I wish it was the Arch Deluxe. The Arch Deluxe was awesome. No, the McDLT was more like 1988, I want to say. On the last one? Oh yeah, I'll use a spool like this in 18 months. Easily. Yeah, I think I bought like 5 of these from that guy. I want to say it was Rocky. No, it was California Extreme. Yeah, because it was out in California. Well, obviously. I think California because that's where Atari was. Even back then, $5 for a pound of solder was like a hell of a deal. And I was like, give them all to me. I don't know, does solder go bad? I mean, this solder is 30 years old, but it still works. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I thought I was out of these, but because I bought these. What would that have been 12 years ago? Yeah, but yeah, but I didn't just use them in order, so I think yeah. So yeah, it wasn't like I just used these contiguously for 12 years. I found this one like, well, yeah. Yes, of course, Planet Jet X2, yes. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I have a lifetime supply of lead solder. No joke. Well, let me check. I'm probably going to log off here soon because my beer's almost empty. This might be a good way to get the EPA to show up at my house. I better watch out. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's see, 21 times 18 divided by 12 plus my age. Yeah, well, okay, it's a lifetime supply of solder if I live to be 80. So if I live older than that, which I hope I don't, then it won't be a lifetime supply of solder. Well, no, it weighs, what was that, 21? So it weighs 21 pounds. Where'd my beer go? Oh, here it is. But yeah, I think this is... I got some newer Kester stuff in here. But this is the last one from Atari Corporation. The mysterious dude. Will someone be auctioning off the Ben Heck Memorial solder? Yeah, sure. Maybe my niece will do it. I hope I die before 80. I don't know. Yeah, kind of. Man, you guys use solder forever. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I probably use less of it now because I really the only time I solder is like once a week when I do one of these controllers. So yeah, I mean, it's probably last longer than that. Yeah, screensavers. That was, oh, dude, that was like 20 years ago. Oh my God, I'm old. Oh, many, many years. Yeah, we shot that in San Francisco. I think that was... Gosh, was that back... That was even before G4, wasn't it? I want to say Adam Sussler was one of those. 6 bits of precision. When my age hits 88, you're gonna see some serious shit. Yeah, it'll be coming onto my ass. Yeah, Tech TV. Yeah, that's right. Man, that was a million years ago. Solderless solder? Well, I mean, conductive glue exists. They also have like diode tape. They have like conductive tape as well. In your diaper. Yep. And there won't be any kids left, so it'll be like robots wiping my butt. Well, alright, I think I'm going to call it a night because I got this done and I finished my beer. But yeah, thanks to everyone who stopped by. And let's see. I have another controller order here, so what's today, Monday? Yeah, so maybe I'll do this one next Monday. Or well, I might do it before then, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's another order by next Monday. So should be back around next Monday. How powerful was the Sega Genesis compared to the SNES without the cartridge helper chips? Well, graphically, it was a lot less powerful than the Super Nintendo. It had a lot less RAM. Its major advantage was that it had a much faster CPU, a full 16-bit bus, and those are the major advantages. So the Super Nintendo was much more advanced in every way, except for the CPU was slow. No, you cannot have my solder to eat. We survive tomorrow, though. Yeah, yeah. You never know. Yeah. All right. Good seeing everyone, and I guess we'll see you here next Monday night. See y'all later.